A federal judge is ordering the Justice Department to provide daily status reports related to the case of a Maryland man who was mistakenly deported to his native El Salvador. Now, she issued this order after department officials told her they were unable to provide information she requested about Kilmar Abrego Garcia during a hearing held Friday. The 29-year-old father was accused of having ties to the gang known as MS-13. His lawyers deny this and say he has never been convicted of a crime in the U.S. or El Salvador. An immigration official acknowledged in a court filing earlier this month Abrego Garcia's removal was an, quote, administrative error. CBS News Justice reporter Jake Rosen has been following this story and more for us. So, Jake, tell us more about what unfolded at today's hearing and then what happens next.
Well, for the second time in a week, we saw a Department of Justice attorney walk into this courtroom in Greenbelt, Maryland, and not have the answers to very simple questions that a judge has asked. In terms of what today's hearing was really all about, after the Supreme Court decision this week in which the Supreme Court said that the government must facilitate his return, the judge asked for his current location, at what steps the defendants, which is the government, have taken since she initially marked her order on the docket a week ago to get him back to the United States, and what steps the government has planned going forward to return him to the United States. The Department of Justice attorney, despite being asked about 5 or 6 times, where is he? What have you done so far? All these basic questions, refused to enter anything into the record and provide any evidence. They actually, Kelly, refused to even acknowledge he was at that Supermax prison, saying that they believe that what the plaintiffs and attorneys for Mr. Abrego Garcia have said are correct, but that basically this attorney said that his client, the government and the White House, have not given him the answers to participate in really this court hearing. The judge found today that the defendants failed to comply with this order to produce very simple evidence, which is why she wants to see these status reports. The judge even said that she would be totally okay if the status reports don't provide her an actual update, but at least acknowledge that there is some kind of work being done to bring him back. There'll be a hearing on Tuesday for a check-in after the weekend and a couple days next week as to what the government is actually doing to make his return back to the United States.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of questions, not many answers coming out of that hearing today. I also want to ask you, I mean, there are multiple legal challenges attempting to block deportations of Venezuelans using the Alien Enemies Act in New York and Texas. What's the status of those?
Well, right. After the Supreme Court also found this week that the suit that was brought in Washington, D.C., which resulted in a nationwide block of the Trump administration's use of this Alien Enemies Act from about 200 years ago to deport these Venezuelan men who are alleged to be gang members. Basically, after the nationwide block was struck down, all of these people who are in the United States, either being held in custody or just living in the United States illegally, are all of a sudden subject to these deportation flights. There's been no steps by the Trump administration so far to actually prove that these people in a court of law, or at least in front of an immigration court, are actually gang members. Those steps need to be brought. But in New York and Texas, judges have at least blocked small pockets of these people from being deported. There has been no nationwide block yet, but this is what the ACLU and other attorneys have aimed for, which is recreating these cases where these people are actually being held, which is what the Supreme Court ruled, that you have to can't just bring a suit in Washington, D.C. because you might have a judge that might side with you. You have to go to a place like Texas or New York where these people are being detained by ICE to actually bring a suit to either free them or block their deportations.
Jake, this is why I love talking to you, because I know you are always so in the details. So thank you for breaking it down for us all.